Jamar Chaney with us right now here on 97.5 Fanatic. Jamar, how you feeling today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
We're doing all right, Jamar. This is a tough day to have you on, of course, because you are a huge Heat fan. And, they waxed up the Sixers last night. So you want to get that out of the way, man? You just want to take your shots now?
Oh, no, wait. I take my shots whenever they're playing another team besides the Sixers. I can't do that to Philly.
Now, Jamar, what's the deal here? Did you climb aboard with LeBron and Bosh sign down there? Are you a longtime Heat fan?
No, I'm a long time. I always try to, show love to the teams that the state I'm in. Besides the NFL teams, I try to show love to, I like the Heat a little more than the Magic than, growing up I was a Tampa Bay fan and, Marlins and all that. So, I try to show love to them.
Now, let me ask you this. 2002, Super Bowl for Tampa Bay. That's a very painful time for us from an Eagles standpoint because then at the time, your Bucs beat our Eagles. And that ranks for many of us as our most painful loss of all time. Yeah, you were probably a little 10-year-old jumping around having fun back then.
Yeah, I kind of was just because, the Eagles used to beat Tampa Bay all the time in the playoffs. And it was finally good to see, back then, it was good to see Tampa Bay finally get over that hump and actually beat the Eagles.
Yeah, well, you're on the other side now. Of course, that can be forgiven because you're a Fort Pierce, Florida native. And so not like some of the Johnny-come-latelys on the Heat bandwagon in particular, Jamar. We'll let that slide. But let's get into, first of all, how's your off-season going and what have you been up to?
Off-season been going real good. Just rehabbing, and working out. There's a lot of guys up here, at the NovaCare, taking advantage of the time that we get to use to the complex, even though the coaches are not allowed, to be involved, but we are, working out and stuff like that, trying to make sure we be ready when mini camps and all that start up.
Hey, Jamar, there's a lot of, uncertainty about the linebacker position with the Eagles with regard to what players the team might bring in from a free agent standpoint and what players the team might bring in from a draft standpoint. And really could kind of go any which way. You can play inside, you can play outside. What has Andy Reid told you with regard to kind of your mental preparation for the season? Are you kind of more preparing to be inside or outside, and kind of how are you approaching that whole dynamic?
Basically he just told me just make sure I'm ready to go. And I think we try to, as a linebacker, you want to be able to know all three of the positions. You never know what can happen during the season. Guys get hurt, things can happen. So you got to be ready to go and be ready, to switch positions at any given time. So, you just make sure, he just say, make sure you take care of stuff that you got control of, and that's making sure you're in the best possible shape you can be in, and your knowledge of the game and the knowledge of your position is where it needs to be at. So when it's time to go, and let everything else, take care of itself.
Speaking with Jamar Chaney, and of course a lot of talk this offseason has been about the linebacker position, as we would expect it would be, and people projecting maybe that Luke Kuechly out of Boston College might be taken with that 15 overall pick, or that the Eagles will get one, if not two, linebackers in free agency. What's that like as being a linebacker on the team, and is it something that you welcome other guys to come in? Do you think that the Eagles need to bring in additional linebackers?
You always welcome. I'm a huge fan of competition. I'm not afraid of competition. I'm pretty sure, Byron Rose, Case Matthews, none of us are, afraid of competition. Competition don't do nothing but make you better. But it's just somebody, the way that we played last year on defense. You got the guys. Us and the safeties are pretty much the youngest positions pretty much on the team. So when things don't go right, somebody's gonna have to, a position group or whoever have to take, the blame for that stuff not happening. And unfortunately, the linebackers and the safeties, last year. So, we take it as a chip on our shoulders. All of us are out here working hard, right now. Moses Foku, me, King Jordan, and Kurt Coleman. We all working hard, making sure that don't happen again. But, I'm pretty sure, none of us are not shying away from whoever they bring in. They bring them in. But, all positions probably going to be open in training camp, and we're going to be ready to compete.
Jamar, how excited are you to get ready for that time? It's a few months away still, but obviously 2011, from a team standpoint, was not a good season. End of the year, 4 wins, but it was, a 4-8 kind of thing that then turned into 8-8. It was a sour taste for most of us all year. How kind of looking forward to 2012 are you to get ready for the season?
Really can't explain how ready I am to get back out there. Just, how the season went last year. Very disappointing, from the owner, coaches, and down onto the players. And then, disappointed to see the fans. You know, they had high expectations for us, like they do every season, and which they should, and we let them down. But I think all of us looking forward to getting back out there. I mean, especially the linebackers. You always talk about the linebackers, this and that, but we ready to get back out there and show everybody that, I mean, we can, compete in the NFL and be a pretty good linebacker corps.
Of course, it's always up to the coaches and the GMs as to who's going to stay, not only personnel-wise but also coaching-wise. But were there mixed opinions maybe about the return of Juan Castillo internally, about what you thought was going to happen or what should happen, and what was your reaction, Jamar, when you found out he was coming back?
My reaction was good. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, it was his first year as defensive coordinator. I mean, at first year coaching on the defensive side of football. And then, we had a knowledgeable new guy come in on defense. I mean, you got to build that. You got to get comfortable playing with each other. I mean, I think we had like 5 guys on defense that haven't never played with the other guys on defense. So, I mean, you take that into the and then going to the off season, you want to at least give him at least one more year, for him to. Because last year he just getting his feet with it, and you could see at the end of the year he started getting better as defensive coordinator, just how we started getting better as a defense. And then on the other hand, going to the offseason, we know what defense we're going to be running. So, I mean, we can set our playbooks right now throughout the whole offseason instead of, new defensive coordinator coming in here. We got to learn a new scheme. We're really not going to be able to go full speed, head of steam into that scheme into training camp. So, I mean, pretty much I think we're ahead of the 8 ball right now bringing him back. Speaking
with Jamar Chaney, and, of course, Todd Hermans gets a new contract, and Trent Cole gets a new deal, and then Deshaun Jackson, the latest to last season, seemed like it was concentrated on getting all these free agents from the outside, and this offseason is dedicated to taking care of their own. What do you make of that?
It just goes to show you. I mean, we have a real good team in the Philadelphia Eagles, and just making sure you take care of your own and making sure those players, they do what they got to do on the field, and you reward them, like Todd and Trent Cole, guys that go, give 100% on and off the field and are good teammates. It just goes to show you. It just goes to show you if you do things right, they'll reward those kind of players. And like I said, we got a pretty good team here, and I mean, they just taking care of our own, and add little pieces here and there through free agents, through the draft, and I think we'll be ready to go.
Hey, Jamar, final question for you. You hear obviously the criticism that the linebacking core receives, and a lot of people say from this side, from where I'm sitting, and a lot of fans, it's they don't consider it, quote unquote, your fault. You guys are young guys. You're improving. You're playing your best. A guy like you has elevated yourself to probably be the best of the group, and yet there's a lot of criticism of your unit. What's that like to be doing your best, improving as a pro, but at the same time, a lot of criticism of your entire group? What's that like from your perspective?
It can be tough if you don't know how to handle it. I mean, well, I think the guys, we do a good job. I mean, the only thing we got to make sure we take care of stuff we can take care of, and that's making sure we getting better every day. We doing the things that we need to do to improve as a linebacker corps. And if you take a couple of those games and turn around to wins, I mean, you don't talk about linebackers, but when you lose, I mean, it brings on those things, that you got to talk about, and you got to find things like what's wrong and stuff like this. But we looking forward to proving a lot of people wrong this upcoming season and making sure that we at the top by the time the end of the season is going on. But I mean, it's probably tough for some guys, but like I said, you can't value yourself worth on what people say. We know we're a pretty good group, and we're young, but we ain't gonna use that as an excuse. And like I said, we're gonna continue to get better. And like I said, we can't wait till the season gets started.
All right, good stuff. Hey, and final thing for you, real quick, Jamar. Is LeBron going to choke to Dirk again this time in the finals, or is it going to be KD? Is it going to be Durant that gets him? I mean, because one way or the other, LeBron chokes. So who's he going to choke against?
No, I don't think that's going to happen this year.
I don't know, man. He's still got the big goose egg.
He still got a big goose egg. I mean, but
it's a real big goose egg.
Last year was his first legitimate chance of winning the title. I mean, those teams in Cleveland weren't that good. I mean, for him, but I'm pretty sure him, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh are gonna make sure they do everything they can, to make sure they get one this year.
Well, we will find out. Hey, Jamar, good having you on the program, man. Good luck, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys get ready for the year and get the action on for sure.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Jamar, thanks, man.
Yes, Jamar
Appreciate
Chaney.
it.